Okay, connecting and broadcasting. Oh dear, my shorts don't come off very well in this green screen, do they? Hi everybody, apologies I'm a few minutes late. There was just technical issues. I mean, last week was great for no technical issues. Today, not as great. It's also a bit chilly in here, so trying to get my brain working is a little bit tough. It's not as cold as it was yesterday. There was no ice as I left the house. Trust this computer, trust. Oh, come on, yes. You can see I'm on the iPad version of, or I'm going to be running the iPad version of EXR today, and I'm not quite set it up in the background, which is why there's like the big black void behind me. It's the nothingness that exists. I'm just kind of hoping the cable coming off the iPad into the Mac, I'm kind of hoping I'm not going to hit at one point during the row. Let's hope not. Right, hang on, I need to set up my screen capture. Where's QuickTime gone? Oy. Hang on a second. How are we all this morning? Are we well? I hope so. QuickTime. No, there we go, cool, right, fine. File, new movie recording, yes. That just sees me, that's not what I want. That's just me. I want John's iPhone camera? No, because surely that's me there. No? No, that's not the one I want. Why aren't you seeing my iPad? This could be... Oy. So the problem is that the Mac version's has historically been playing up, so let's try unplugging you and putting it back in again. Who have we got while we're just hey, Mira, how are you? Lady Jane Marble. Oh, Lady Jane. I had many ladies. I had an Earl. Earl Ian got in touch yesterday. Strange. So it's just odd that I've got an Earl one day and a lady the next day. Notification from EXR, too many sad faces. Oh dear, that's not good. Looks like I'm on the water. Well done. Cool. Right, software updates. But I know, but if you sit there and you say you're going to be downloading and you don't do anything, so let's just try. Let's just try, Chris. How long have I got? I've got 10 minutes. That's fine. Apart from being, the only issue with it being 10 minutes is just that I kind of want to get going so I can, because I'm cold. Have I told you I'm cold? All right, let's see. Still, John Stevenson's iPad. There we go. Come on, you can see it? Come on, baby, you can see me. Yay! Right, okay. No, that's... Oh, no, you didn't want to start EXR. Oh, you twit. That's not... It's OBS you want. Right, and then I need to screen capture. Come on. Application. QuickTime player. It should pop up in the background. Yay! I don't have my little funky gym background behind me today, so I'm afraid it's just going to be the screen. But I'm sure you can all live with that. In fact, if I hover above, is that right about right? Above my floor, then hopefully that's going to be, apart from it's not going to look very attractive because you've got the black bars all around it, but hey, CBDB. Good morning all. I'm back from finishing the Build Me Up series after recovering from flu. Now remember, if you're ever working out post-illness and things, just take it easy, okay? Your body's kind of, especially if it's flu that you've had, then your body's been going through the ringer, so don't ask too much of it. Right, there we go. PM5. So I'm just connecting my rowing machine, as you can see. Make sure I don't have any rogue sounds. No, I don't. Okay. I did have one of basically the technical issue I had this morning was that the microphone wasn't working, and I'm a little bit worried that at one point it's just going to go and just start crackling at you all. If it does, I apologize. Just turn the sound down if that happens. Okay, we want rower data, and come on. There we go. I'll set it to the Epix Pro, as ridiculous as it is, because it'll do what it always does, and I'll get into this and it'll suddenly say I've got like 150 resting heart rate. Okay, so I've already, you see, I did this, at this time I actually pre-registered for the row, so it's saying that it's here, and that I'm ready to go. So let's see, I've got the position of me on screen slightly wrong, haven't I? Because it's going to cover up the pace. How about no, I want to leave it centered though, just in case you're watching at home. That'd be quite irritating if I have the screen all the way to the side. How about I move me like that? There you go, you can see, if you care about my pace and my stroke rate, you can kind of see the stroke rate underneath the underneath the machine, and you can see my pace as well. So, yeah, hopefully that's all right. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. What were we saying then? 130 people. Oh, hang on. Oh, now was that a mistake? Because I did click on that download thing in order to make your iPad work. I have to install something, and knowing a Mac, it's going to install it. It's then going to stop the iPad being seen, and it'll do a restart. And if it does a restart, that's the problem, because I've already launched the live stream, and I then can't come back into it and kind of join myself again for the live stream. So let's just hope it doesn't do that, or come up with a nag screen over and over again saying, you need to do stuff. Right, so what we've got, so 130 people, which is amazing for the morning rows. We had 180 something last week at 5 o'clock for the 5 o'clock row, funny enough. What do we call it again? The sunset row with RowAlong. We had, so we had 180 something for that. So loads of people. And I kind of figured it was mostly people joining, just because it opens it up to like other time zones when we do it in 5 in the evening. And it probably was, I mean, there's still 50 more than today, but still 130 for I think this breaks the amount of the record for the amount of people I've had joining me for this. So thank you everybody for joining. So who is, Tobias is here. Good morning everybody, he says, or everyone. So good morning Tobias, how are you? CBD says good morning all. Oh no, that's the one I already read. I think we're done. Have I done all my, I've caught up with everyone that said hello? I have. I'm going to type, I never say hello. Oh look, is that a new angle? With the Easter eggs? That looks like it's a new swooping kind of camera angle for all. How long have we got? We've got 4 minutes. So do some light rowing if you want to warm up before we get started, by all means. There's Jerome. Don't worry, I've not forgotten. And there's Annette. Hello from Denmark. Yeah, just do some light rowing before we get started. I'll still do what I always do, which is start very slow. John Enge is with us today. I'd start very slow and kind of like build up through stuff. I'll see how I feel. I did quite a tough row yesterday. So I don't know whether, I'll just see how I feel. I think I'll definitely keep the bulk of it down at kind of around about 2:10 pace. I'm just going to take it really, really easy today. Whether I do the sprints, I don't know. Andrew Field is not here today, so, excuse me. So the only person that's going to get me into a bun fight is going to be Jerome. So I will see how we feel by the time we get there. But I'm going to be going so slow, I think he'll be miles ahead of me anyway. So yeah, so that's my plan. It's just to kind of take it easy, maybe do the sprints, probably not, depending on how I'm feeling. And just kind of just pootle along for half an hour. Do take this as a real recovery row. I'm going to try and keep, depending on what I was saying, my heart rate's around about 70 something, which it might well be because I'm a little bit cold and hyper. So if my heart rate monitor is kind of looking around about normal, I'm going to try and keep the heart rate to around about 120 for this row. I think if it spikes over that, it's not going to be very good for me in terms of recovery after yesterday's tough row. So, and I don't want to push myself too hard because what I've discovered is my body's not reacting to the amount of training I'm doing right now very well. There's kind of very odd things happening. So I need to kind of take today's recovery row, I think. A little swig of ambition. We've got just under 3 minutes to go. With my trusty Raiders cup. The lid on my, you can see my huge big keep cup thing. If I do, no, go that way. Now you can see, massive cup I've got. Holds basically it's like 3 cups of coffee, but I only make 1 cup of coffee, but top it up. And this has really kind of helped my, you'll start easy and do some sprints, yeah, but you'll be miles ahead of me, so. Yeah, it holds loads of coffee, but I only make 1 coffee and top it up with water, and that then kind of solved my 10 cups of coffee problem a day. Problem is the lid broke, and this cup, I really like it because it's my Raiders cup that I got in Vegas back in 2022. But the good news is I'm off to Vegas again in a few weeks' time. And I go there for the Vegas High Rocks. Sorry, I didn't realise I hadn't tied my laces. I'm going to go there for the Vegas High Rocks. And it's my birthday in February, quite a big one. I'm turning 50 in February. And my birthday present from my sister is that she's coming up, her and her husband are coming up to look after the kids for a week, while Julie and I go off to Vegas, which is quite nice. So what it means is that I can actually talk about the fact that I'm going to Vegas, because quite a lot of the time I'm a little bit cagey because I don't really like saying that I'm gonna be away and the house will be empty. So, because then people will be like, oh, John's just said I'm gonna go and steal his television. But Pam and Pete are coming up to look after the kids, so they'll be there, and you don't want to mess with Pete. So, oh no, my handles. Oh, I just strapped myself into my handles. See, this is, you know, the big discussion about whether to put the handle in the kind of what would you call it, the handle return or whatever, or up at the top. I mean, there's people that will argue. It's like the heels up thing. People will argue and argue and argue about it. What's best? Concept 2 themselves have said you don't need to always return it. Right? What are we at time-wise? 40 seconds. Now remember, there's a 5-second delay between what you're seeing on YouTube and your app. So if you're rowing with EXR, make sure and look at your app, not at YouTube for the start time. Concept 2 have said themselves that you don't need to put it up at the front of the machine for general use. If you're going away on holiday for a couple of weeks, then maybe put it up at the throat in order to kind of help the bungee cord out. But so there you go, this is my heart rate up at 100 strangely, which it isn't. But I just don't like putting it up at the front because the amount of times I strap in and go, oh no, I've forgotten to pull it out. So 10 seconds to go. Hopefully this is going to go well. And last one, hello from Berlin, yay. 2, 1, go. Oh, right, I'm taking this really nice and easy today, so maybe I'll just take a feel for my body. I'll tell you what, I'm going to close my eyes. I suggested this a couple of weeks ago. I've just close your eyes, think about your body movements, concentrate on the rhythm of your stroke. Try not to get seasick. And I think about arms away and that tilt. You might not be able to get into full tilt yet because we've only just started. And then slide until shins vertical. And once you're pretty sure that you're moving okay, open your eyes, take a look at your pace. And so I've kind of dialed in terms of the intensity that I want to work at, around about 211, 212. And this way I'm not chasing numbers. Like my normal kind of low intensity zone 2 row would be about 205 pace. But like I said, after yesterday's tough workout, I think my body's a little bit too activated. I'm just going to back off, especially because I've got high rocks training to do this evening. So, I'm going off the back of the screen. What have you done? You don't need to see the back of my stroke, do you? Idiot. I should have checked that before we started, shouldn't I? Should I stop and adjust myself? Nah. You don't care about seeing the back of my stroke. But I'm not sprinting this one for sure. Too soon. So a quick word. Don't know how many people are watching, but because only you'll hear this. But Jerome got in touch this morning and said there does seem to be a bit of a glitch with the EXR server right now, with the amount of users on at the same time, and that sometimes it disconnects, but it does reconnect. So if you find that it suddenly just drops out for you, everybody disappears, Just keep rowing. I don't think it's the same as what happened to me last week where EXR disconnected from the machine. I think that was a local problem. But if you just get a disconnected from server issue and everybody disappears, just continue rowing and you should get back. My avatar is mighty handsome, isn't he, on his RowAlong kit and his wooden log boat. Oh, what happened to R. Kirsten? Maybe he's disconnected. So, hopefully, now that we're 4 minutes in, your body has eased off a little bit. And you're able to row kind of closer to the angles that you should be at. I mean, this is why it is actually better to do like a 5-minute warm-up and then take like a minute's rest, a couple of minutes rest, stretch or something, and then start a workout, because sometimes kind of doing a rolling warm-up, it's hard to kind of get that feel that your body is eased off. Because there is something quite nice about doing a creaky warm-up where you're like, oh, I'm not feeling good, or feeling flexible today. Do that for 5 minutes, rest for a couple of minutes, let the ATP recharge, and then you start rowing, and it's like someone's flicked a switch. You're able to get into all of the right angles. You've got the timing right between the feet and the hands. Everything just comes together, all because of that warm-up. I mean, I shouldn't need to preach to you about the importance of a warm-up, should I? Everybody knows the warm-ups are there for a reason. I mean, a row like this, you don't really need to be warm, but it is an idea to do some light rowing beforehand, just to let your body know what you're about to ask of it for the next half hour. Oh, that's Santa hat. I mean, there's 350 days to go until Christmas. Is that right? No, 300 and... Well, we're on the 12th. Whatever. I'm not going to do those maths. So, let's do a quick technique checkup. As in, hopefully we are now nice and fluid as we're rowing. So, I want you to think about your stroke, not from the front. It's too late by then, usually. I want you to think about it from the back. So as you finish your stroke and pull the handle into your chest, that I want you to think about being the start of the next stroke, and where you can reset and get ready for the next one. You do that by releasing the handle first, quickly but smoothly. No jerking. You're not throwing it away. It's not a hot potato. It's not an angry broomstick. Is that a tunnel under construction in the distance? I wonder if that's going to be a future EXR map or route. Anyway. So yeah, basically the pace that you pull it into your chest at, in. That's the speed that I want you to release it at. So it's complementary. In, out. I know you can't see me because I've got my framing wrong today, but nice rhythm. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Like a big drum. And as the handle comes away, it triggers your body to start moving forwards or tilting forwards. And what I want you to do is to kind of sit up as you go forwards. Use that point at the back of the stroke when you're in that layback to reset, to sit up onto your sit bones, and then what if I try and do, so go and then tilt, but not that late. Don't follow me. You can't see me. So I'm just, tell you what I'm going to do. As much as I said I wasn't going to do, if I'm going to talk about technique, you need to possibly see me, so I'm going to just speed up a bit, cross this sprint, not too fast, but just to open up a bit, get a bit of, earn the fact I'm about to stop for 10 seconds. Right. Oh, you can see my exercise ball now. That'll do. You don't care about my pace, do you? Or stroke rate. Let's take this off as well. Oh. Right. Oh. You can still hear me? Yeah, the microphone's not died. Okay. There we go. Now, it's got to be said, exactly what I was on about with the warm-up is what's happened there, where even stopping for those 10 seconds or so, I do feel much more, what's the word? Ready? No, much more primed. I mean, I'm just, again, rowing by feel in terms of the intensity, and I'm like 209, 210, so 2-3 seconds faster for the same perceived effort. What's my target? Row 2.5 kilometers. Okay. So yeah, let's quickly go back from a technique point of view. So pull in, then arms away again. In, out. Get them nice and straight, in position, so you don't have to do anything more with your arms for the recovery. They're straight, they're at the right height, they're locked in place. And then as your arms come away from you, you sit up and forwards. Up, forwards. And the up here is about tilting the hips. So when you finish the stroke, your hips will be tilted backwards, okay? And you don't want your hips to continue tilting backwards as you recover. See, lots of people, I'll do one example, going like this, where the hips are always back. Don't want that. That totally disengages power and get less length And you're more likely to get a sore back from doing that as well. So hips tilt forwards as the arms come forwards. And then you should be tilted and arms straight before you bend your knees. So arms, body, knees. If you look down and you spot that you are needing to throw your handle over your knees because they're popping up, then you're not getting that sequencing right. And I want you to go back to arms, body, knees. There's a good chance the cause of that is that you are tugging on the foot straps to pull you forwards, because that pops the knees up. So don't do that. But get those hips tilted, and that helps your back get into a 1 o'clock lean tilt as you come to the front of the machine with straight arms. Slide until shins are vertical. What are mine like today? They seem fine. I'm not over compressing. I'm not missing the compression. And because I've been working on ankle flexibility to try to solve my Achilles tendon problem for running, I'm kind of able to get into that shins vertical with my heels only lifting about 1 centimeter off the foot plates. And again, that is part flexibility, it's part not over compressing. Because if I go too far, and I'll do that this time, I go right to the front, right past shins vertical, my heels, and I row slower because I miss the connection between feet and hands because I'm in that over compressed state. Shins vertical, heel close. They can come up a bit as long as you get your heels down and push at the drive. Heels are up and you're over compressed. What happens is your backside goes from underneath you. And so over compression causes that. As rolled back hips. So my off the foot plates here. And I'm totally look at the pace. 214, 217, and then six. Just lit. I mean, I promise you, from a amount of effort pushing into the machine here, nothing changes. But what's different is that I can connect my feet to my hands properly here because of that forwards of my back. Now brace my core, use my posterior chain to be the conduit of the power from feet to my hands. And then hold, forwards tilt, arms straight, push, feet. Said enough about that. You should know that by now today. But try and hold. I know I'm not the best at it, But do try to hold straight arms and that tilt for as long as you can through the drive. Often this is where your drag factor, the lever on the side of the machine, can really come to play a big part. Because if you've got it set too high, too heavy, what happens is you heave against it, which means your back opens up too soon. But if you have it too low, what can happen is that you're just spinning through air, and it doesn't feel like you're really connected to the stroke. I'd much rather you were lower than higher, but what I'm saying is that from a baby bear point of view, what you're looking for is when you feel connected, you can feel the weight of your stroke. It helps you hang off the handle as you push your feet into the machine. Because you're kind of hanging off that weight. You're fighting the air, and that kind of keeps you floating. And that's what you're looking for. But you don't have to open your back too soon. And this, for most people, is between 115 and 130 drag factor. Just as I say 130, my heart rate has jumped up. Hopefully it's because of the examples of heaving the handle, but I'll back down to 210, 212 pace. And you know what? What just happened is a good lesson, not just for rowing, but for everything you do, is to set the parameters. Like for me, I don't want to go above 125 heart rate. Sissy, as we hit 125. And so I need to stick to my goal and adjust. There's no point being bullish about it and saying, right, I set my goal, I know I've just burst out of it, oh well then. There's no point continuing trying to hold that goal. I might as well just give up and put everything into it and it's all ruined and blah blah. That's where negativity comes from. So what I need to do is be sensible, slow down, because, well, we're 22 minutes in to this row. Possible cardiac drift between the effort and talking the whole time. So I've set my parameters and I want to get back into them again. And it's the same, and I'm talking, this is from my experience here, it's the same when it comes to, especially this time of the year, healthy eating goals. So I was a pig over Christmas. Really was. So much food. There's all like mince pies, Holly baked a bunch of amazing brownies and huge Nutella cookies, and then there was mother-in-law's amazing New Year's Day trifle to get through, and then just all the various chocolate and biscuits that just seem to appear in your house over the Christmas period. So, unsurprisingly, over Christmas, I think I put on 2 or 3 kilograms. I didn't weigh myself beforehand, but I'm pretty sure I was about 79 kilograms pre-Christmas. And then I weighed myself on Tuesday, past, and I was 81.4. So say that's 5 pounds I managed to put on, which is awful. I mean, I enjoyed every bite. I wasn't sitting there crying into my mince pie and ice cream, but what it means is that now I'm trying to be healthy, strict about what I eat, and it's usually down to snacking, to be honest. I mean, my lunches are kind of always a variation of a chicken breast salad. It can be in a wrap, it can be with noodles, a side salad. I've started making a lovely chicken breast, sweet and sour chili sauce, and quinoa. Not had quinoa for ages. And then the podcast I listened to, Stuff You Should Know, they did an episode about quinoa. And I was like, oh! Part of me now remembers why I stopped eating it. Just because you have to let it cook for like 10-15 minutes for the little seedy things to open up. But it's nice. Just that's what I tend to eat, but it's the snacking. It's the, I'll just have a chocolate digestive. Then half an hour later, I'll just have another chocolate digestive. And so I've given myself these kind of parameters again for how to eat healthy, to try and lose at least, I want to lose, if I can get down to 80 kilograms by the time I go to Vegas, I'll be happy. So that's like 3 pounds I'm looking for. I'll weigh myself on Tuesday again, and I might post the results on the RowAlong forum and on the training tracks that I'm currently running, the group plans. But yesterday, there's a point to this story, don't worry. Yesterday, Holly, Julie and I went into town so we could leave Jamie at home studying, because she's got her prelims right now. So we cleared out so she could study. Went to play crazy golf at a lovely place called One Under. If you're ever in Glasgow, I recommend it. But then suddenly realised it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and hadn't had any lunch. And really all you've got open to you is takeaway stuff. Could have gone for like a Wagamama or a Nando's, but I knew that I was having a big pasta dinner, so I didn't want to have a huge calorie intake for lunch. And so I ended up in Greg's. Avoided the sausage rolls, had a chicken salad roll, a chicken mayo salad roll instead. But I knew that I was going to be like, compared to my quinoa salad, not the best. And so it's easy at that point to go, oh well then, that's it, the day's bust. And then reach for the sausage roll and the donuts. But a hiccup doesn't mean the end. Say you are trying to do a dry January and you gave in last night, you had a glass of wine, you had a pint of beer, whatever, it doesn't mean you have to stop. There's still, what, 19 days of January left that you can still be good at, as like a good, sensible, sticking to your goals. Just because you've had one pint doesn't mean it's over. Just because I had that chicken roll from Greg's doesn't mean I can then throw in the towel for the day and spend the rest of it eating chocolate and cake again. Understand what was possibly behind the hiccup, and you'll either prevent it happening next time, or you'll just be able to compartmentalize it better. You'll just kind of go, all right, well, that was a blip, but it doesn't mean the end. I know why it happened. Like yesterday, I know it's just I messed up my timings for lunch, didn't take anything with me, so all I had was that. So that's what I'm saying, is that always set your goals, your parameters, but when it comes to lifestyle stuff, or even heart rate and pace, if you wobble, understand why, and you'll deal with it, you'll be able to move on, and it's not the end. We're in January, this is a point when, again, like I say, for me, I was just a glutton when it came to Christmas. And so it'd be really easy, like that change, that sudden stop. It was last Saturday night, it was like, right, we had a takeaway, and we had dessert, and I had like wine, and I had my lovely new Jack Daniel's cocktail that I've designed, and that was the Saturday night. And then I kind of said, right, that's it after Saturday night, but it's like healthy eating and no alcohol and stuff. And it's like you're nasty down to like healthy eating, and that drop, you're kind of like, wow, this is completely different, and your body is kind of saying, where's all that chocolate, where's all whatever. And so it's quite easy to fall back into, it's just quite easy to find it hard to eat healthily. But the whole point is that, well, it's the same with, right, so I don't think I've ever particularly said this, but I used to smoke. When I was kind of a teenager-ish, I used to smoke. And it's when Julie and I moved in together, well, it's basically when Julie and I moved in together in our first flat, I said, right, I don't want to live in a flat that smells of cigarettes, so I'm going to stop smoking. It's not part of my life I'm proud about. Or not the smoking part, but the giving up was. And with cigarettes, when you stop, you do get that kind of like that zing where you're like, oh, now's the time when I should be having a cigarette. And the craving basically for a cigarette kind of starts to hit you. And how I dealt with it was I went, fantastic, this is amazing. This feeling for I want a cigarette is proof that I have stopped smoking. That I am continuing with this journey to stop smoking, knowing that it would be like a few weeks and then it kind of tend to go away, and then it would just, you get one and then it'd be a little bit longer, then you get another craving, a little bit longer and whatever. Then eventually, we were walking behind somebody yesterday that was smoking, and I was like, oh, how dare he? But because I'd kind of said the reason that I am craving a cigarette is because I have stopped smoking, it really helps. And it's the same with right now with when you are trying to do healthy eating, or you are trying to give up alcohol, or you are exercising and finding it hard. If you can just say in your head, the reason I'm finding this hard is because I have started exercising and I need to get fitter. I am not fit right now. I need to get fitter. Therefore, I find this hard. So that's fantastic because it means I'm on my journey. And the same with the food thing, where it's like, I really want a biscuit. It's kind of, yeah, that's because I'm not eating biscuits. Well, hey, that's fantastic. When you don't get that craving for biscuits, chances are it's because you're eating biscuits. So anyway, right, I'm going on again. What we got, right? So Jerome says, thank you, John. No server issues today, I know. Any tips against frozen fingertips? Really, apart from kind of wiggling your fingers, like playing the piano. So great to hear stop smoking. So I think I stopped I was off and on because when I was playing squash, I didn't really smoke. But I was like, when I was a little drummer boy, when I was playing the drums in a band and stuff, I'd say from probably around about 14 to 18, I was a smoker. And then when I think probably 24 to 26, I was a smoker again. That's pretty much when about 24 is when I blew out my shoulder and I couldn't play squash anymore. And that's when I self-destructed at that point. Ate a lot, smoked a lot, and I got fat. So I've talked about that one before. But yeah, so I think it was about 26. I think, did that work out? Yeah, 2001, Julie and I moved in together. So 26 was when I stopped, and that's been, well, 24 years then, I guess, since so anyway. But not proud of it, but being a smoker, but at least I'm proud of the fact that I stopped. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody. Thanks to the Row, got Annette saying thank you. Have a nice Sunday, everybody. And I want to echo that. So we've got, like, if you're in kind of GMT-ish, plus minus a couple of hours, then we've got a lot of Sunday ahead of us. So have a fantastic day. I've got a really enjoyable day packing the car up with a whole bunch of cardboard boxes and old floor tiles that I have to take to the dump. I don't like taking stuff to the dump because I think there should always be a way to recycle stuff, but the cardboard goes into recycling, and I think the floor tiles will end up going into kind of like a rubber pellets thing. But yeah, it's not ideal, but sometimes it's just modern life. Right, anyway, fantastic Row. Thanks, John. Thank you, Helen. Yeah, and thanks to all from CBDB. Here's Irby. Many thanks for this nice RowAlong. It was a little bit, I mean, sometimes it must be said, I'll finish, don't worry, two more minutes, or one more minute. Sometimes I'll go off into flights of fancy and I'll tell you stories and I'll talk about Van Halen and pizza and stuff the whole way through. Sometimes I get a little bit lost in technique. And I know that I did kind of spend the first 20 minutes of today's Row talking about technique. But I've actually so this is a tip for anyone who's still left. I'm in the middle of editing a video right now where I'm talking about the hips, and what it's based around is, I've moved it out, it's a bucket, okay? So if you're holding a bucket, and at the back of the stroke, it tips back, okay, and the water's sloshing out the back. What I want you to do with your hips when it comes to sitting up and forwards is you tip that bucket forwards again. And that's what I want you to think about with your hips. You can be at the back, sloshing out the back, and then bucket forward so that it starts sloshing out the front. Hopefully, I mean, I've come up with so many wacky ways to try and describe this, like sticking a carrot up your arse. But the bucket one I really quite like, because you can think about a bucket tilting forwards and tilting backwards as you're doing your stroke. So look out for that video. Please watch it and like and subscribe and stuff. I'm spending a couple of months trying to grow RowAlong. And I'm kind of really, I just want to see what I could do if I didn't have a day job. So it'd be nice if people could actually watch. Anyway, right, last kind of comments and I'm going to say goodbye. Clear Implant Foundation, thanks from your fan in Berlin. Oh, what? Yeah, clean. Is that like teeth implants? They're expensive. Tobias, thanks John, have a nice one everyone, and nice Row, thanks from Clive Cooling. Okay, we'll leave Clive with the last word of today. Everybody look after yourselves. Remember next week, next week I'm still here, is going to be the Sunset Row, 5 o'clock GMT, which lets our American friends all join in, and Canadian and whatever, all people in that time zone, because it's right now like 3 in the morning, 1 in the morning for them. So looking forward to seeing people like Louisa from San Francisco joining in again, and yeah, so I look forward to seeing you then. Have a fantastic week coming up ahead. Do get in touch, info@rowalong.com if you've got any comments, if you want me to look at your technique, or if you just want to say hello, then I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, so until the next Row, please look after yourselves, take care, be well, bye-bye. And the reason I ended that on an up is because I still have to click down here. It works out so well. Just to let you know, your mic is getting caught on something. I think the mic's bust.